Hi, this is John at Breault, and I'm here to show you a very simple system setup and trace in ASAP Optics Manager. The goal is not to explain how everything works, but simply to show the minimal steps necessary to create a very simple system with rays and trace it. So we start by creating the geometry by touching the geometry node on the Optics Manager tab. Geometry. We're going to make the lens as an ellipsoid, and we're going to make it thinner in the Z direction only so that it is shaped like our notion of a lens should be shaped. We also want a detector, so we go back to the geometry node, hit plane, and we're simply going to move this away from the lens a little bit so that we're closer to the focus. Don't worry about how I know that. For now, we're just putting it at Z equals 9. We now have a system that we haven't described very well. We've given the shape, but not the kind of glass that it is. So to define the glass for the ellipsoid, we go into media, and we pick one of the two media. One side of the interface is air, the other side of the interface is glass. So let's pick the glass. It doesn't matter whether that's medium 1 or 2. We just need to set one of them. Don't worry about the details. We search for BK glasses, we pick in BK10, and we apply that. We want this to behave as if it's perfectly transmitting. It has a great anti-reflective coating. It works perfectly. So we're going to take the default bare coating, which means no coating, and we're going to change that to an ideal coating, perfectly transmitting. Say OK to accept. Don't worry about the options. We're going to do the same basic thing to the detector, except ensure that it is, rather than perfectly transmitting, perfectly absorbing. So we say OK to accept that and apply. We now have all the geometry. We need light. To make light, we make a grid source by touching the sources node, going here, selecting elliptical, and then we're simply going to move this set of rays back to Z equals -1 so that it won't be right in the middle of the lens when it starts. It'll be before the lens so that it sees both the front and back. We won't change anything else, and we hit apply. We have not yet told the model what we want to do with the light after we've made it. So we're going to give it instruction. We want to do a trace, and we actually want to plot the results of the trace, not just trace silently. So we're going to plot the rays on top of the geometry. We don't worry about anything else. We take everything else as default, and we insert, and now we can see that there are trace settings here, because under the trace node there's a trace subnode that means we have set it up to do something. And with that, we're ready to run. The Run Optics Manager icon at the top is the way we make that happen. So we just hit it, and we see a 2D plot of the trace on the geometry, and we see a 3D version of that. Let's just go back and look at that very briefly. So a 2D plot, it has the title that was default, we didn't change, and we see the rays coming to a near focus at the detector after passing through the lens. If we look at the 3D view, we can spin it around to look at it from another perspective, and that is a complete task. So that's my introduction to the ASAP Optics Manager, creating a simple system and tracing it, and that is the intent. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'll look forward to seeing you for other aspects of this later.